Hello, good people and bad people alike. Today I want to talk about two games that I've gotten my hands on. One game I played for several hours, maybe under a dozen, and one game I probably only played for about an hour. Exactly, just under. So the first game I want to talk about is Ready or Not. Ready or Not has gotten its console release, and I've got my hands on it, me and my buddy, and we've been playing the crap out of it. There's something about this game and how much cooperation and synergy that it takes for me and my partner, my duty buddy, to have for us to be successful. And it's such a good game, good cooperative game, especially if you're playing on the hardest difficulty and you don't have a full squad. It's just me and him going through these levels and trying to strategize. And I really like how realistic and grounded the game is. The game has a couple bugs with a couple of the prompts not showing up and a couple of the AI not being too great, but for the most part, the AI is kind of smart. Like, the AI knows when to push, sort of knows when to sit there, and you will get surprised a lot from this game of what people will do. And it's been a blast. It's a game that reminds me. I've played the original SWAT 4 by myself on the PC. That game's pretty great, but it's pretty old and dated. So this Ready or Not being the spiritual successor to this game, it's been such a treat to play. And I would recommend for any type of first-person shooter lover. It really reminds me of playing the old Rainbow Six 3 on the PlayStation 2. I remember fondly of playing that game and going through the levels and getting shot from a guy I don't even know where I got shot from, and just replaying that game in my head. It feels like I'm playing Ready or Not. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, this game can be very brutal, and a lot of cooperation with your buddy is required. Because if you, or if, for example, like, I go into a building and I call out something and I say one little thing wrong, or I doubt myself, and our whole team is wiped, or my partner dies, or I die. So a real sense of accountability for each action is really felt through that game when you're going and you use tactics. You're a SWAT. Did I even mention what this game is? You're a SWAT officer going in to different calls and bringing order to chaos. So every decision counts, every bullet counts, and that's really what makes this game very tense. And you got to go. There's a certain pace that you have to have in a game to be able to check all your corners, make sure everything's okay, and it just feels great to play. And the other game I want to talk about is Killing Floor 3. So I just got my hands on Killing Floor 3. I haven't played it that much, but I played one game of it as a ninja because I was a big berserker in Killing Floor 2 when I first started playing the game, and I enjoyed my time with it. I've watched a lot of videos on it before I got the game, and seeing how OG Killing Floor fans felt about the game, and more so new Killing Floor fans felt about the game that hasn't had any really prior experience from that franchise. And a lot of the old Killing Floor fans aren't really gonna like this one. Especially a lot of Killing Floor 1 people. I feel like there's a certain vibe and aura of that game that I feel when someone's attached to something like Killing Floor. It's very much a cult classic game. It's not really a crazy big game, but a lot of people get attached to these games so much that it becomes their personality or something of like that, and then they see a spin-off or a sequel of that, and it sort of bastardizes it. Not completely, but it's not the same vibe as their beloved Killing Floor 1 or Killing Floor 2. But going this game, I didn't play Killing Floor 1. I played Killing Floor 2 a lot with my friends. It was very fun. That's why I was hyped for Killing Floor 3. And it's pretty fun, I would say. I played one match. They've added some elements to really have the player grind out. So they changed. The one big thing that I don't really like about the game is that they changed how you buy weapons in the game with your dosh and the trader pod. And you buy weapons with attachments, and you can craft your own attachments, basically leveling up your guns over time, which I don't really like that. I sort of like how I've heard other people say, like, why didn't they just put all that in the trading pod so you can buy with dosh? I don't know. I think they want the game to be a bit more of a grind, which is sort of understandable. The game already had sort of like these little RPG elements with your skills or perks system with these trees. The Killing Floor 3 has a way more robust tree from Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2 is very simple. It's either pick this or that. So this one feels way more robust, so I'm excited to see what it has to offer. I haven't really unlocked much of it, but I just got my hands on the game, played it a bit, played one normal round with the ninja, running around with the katana, cutting things up, and it felt good. The ninja has a bunch of shuriken. I don't like the diversity that the ninja has. It's just like all like East Asian weaponry and no like bats or anything or chainsaws or wacky weapons I can use maybe down the future. But this game doesn't have much time in the oven like Killing Floor 2 had when I first got into it. So it's much like me getting into one of my favorite games all time, Cyberpunk 2027 or 2077. I sort of came into that game when it was all complete. And the same thing with Killing Floor. I came in that game when it had all the stuff that it had, all the weapons and maps and such. So in my brain, I think of this as like a DLC to Killing Floor 2 for now. That's going to be rolling out a lot more updates over time. I enjoyed it. I really like the music. I heard the revamped Killing Floor 2 theme music. I don't know if that was the same theme music in Killing Floor 1, but it was nice. The music's cool. The guns, a big thing for Killing Floor 3 is the guns and how the guns feel. So this game is set more in the future, so a lot of more futuristic weapons and stuff that they have in it. So there's a less guns that the player will recognize from real life, which is something that I think that is kind of a miss there. But what we have is sort of like a bland palette of weapons. I hear a lot of people saying like it all sort of looks the same and sounds the same, which I've heard some of the sounds, and some of the gun sounds do sound the same, and hopefully over the time they'll have this in the oven and cook it. But I don't think this game is bad. This is a fun game, especially I think with friends would be very fun. But even solo, Killing Floor is just a game. It's not really a game that I really want to grind out. It's sort of one of those games that, like, if I was just playing Call of Duty, sort of like an average gamer, that I just get on and play a game. If I'm by myself, hop in, I play a game, and I'm like, all right, that's cool, and I'll get off. But if I'm with friends, we might play a couple more games and stuff and have a blast. But I think the game's good. I think it's fun. And same as Ready or Not. Ready or Not is great. I'm definitely going to have to do a video on that. But yeah, Killing Floor, I can't wait for it to have the versus mode, because the versus mode was a lot of fun with if I got a group of friends and we're playing stuff, sort of like Gears of War's versus mode. I actually never played Gears of War versus mode, so I don't even know why I'm talking about that. But I think Gears of War, Left 4 Dead 2 had sort of like a infected, where people can play infected and other people can play those survivors and stuff. So that's sort of what the versus mode was in Killing Floor 2. So I can't wait for them to have that into the game. But yeah, that's about it. What do you guys think about these games if you played it? Do they sound interesting after I started yapping about it? What do you think? I'm going to be playing a lot more Ready or Not. You're going to be seeing a lot more Ready or Not videos and some Killing Floor 3. And yeah, that's it.